All right, everybody. Day 2, Linville River. I think the Linville River is a tired river, or a sad river. It's sad because don't nobody watch it enough. But we took care of that problem a little bit. We camped here where we could overlook it, so we could watch it. Hydrological observation. And there are interested people in my setup. I do not claim to be an expert. There are people out there far, far better than I am. But here we go. Starting out with my tarp. Big tarp. I think it's 9 by 11. So easy. Will cover my hammock. I've got it set up. Pitched low in the back, or the west side. The front side's high. And there's Wayne over there. Excuse me, there's Jiffy Pop. Jiffy Pop or Soda Man, I can't decide yet. But we'll talk about that later. Anyway, I pitched it high so I can see the river. My super deluxe big bug netting. I got tired of the little one piece I had. It always blew off of me in the middle of the night, so I took care of that and I made something that'll never blow off of me, and I can tie the corners together. I reinforced the corner and put a little elastic on there so I could tie it together. I've got my under quilt hanging under my hammock. And I think what I'm going to do with that is take the loop that's the under quilt and make a whoopee sling out of it, or do something that I can make adjustable, because I really like it on the toggle. I've got it on the toggle on that end, and I've got it on the toggle on that end. And then my under quilt is set up so I can just slide it up or down wherever I need it. It also gives me a chance to slide it if one side's lower than the other. I can raise it back up just by tugging on it. So I've got a tube on the under quilt that I can slide it wherever it needs to be. I haven't had a problem with it moving. My hammock is sitting in there. I used a sweatshirt for a pillow. And then I've got just a very, very lightweight fleece blanket for my top quilt for summer. And I'm thinking that's going to be good for me from about 50 degrees and above. Anything colder than that, anything in the 40s, I'm probably going to go back to a winter, what I call my winter setup. Now I ain't Chug, I don't do minus 15 or minus 20. But there's my setup, and now I can quit boring you when we get back to the river. Nice spot. This is South Sandy Flats. At the bottom of the hill there's a little path down to the river. It's quite steep, but there's actually a little bit of a spring over there. If you go down the path and go over to the right, you'll see it dripping. And if you've got a container, we put a container underneath the drips, and we caught enough water, you know, for the two of us for a meal. I mean, it's not dripping very fast. It's one of those things you got to let go and let sit. Wayne is ready to go. Excuse me, Jiffy Pop. Jiffy Pop is ready to go. He's sitting here. Daddy. He's sitting here waiting on me. Yep, look, he's packed up. He's serious. And I got to take down all that stuff. Here's where I set up at. Right here is... right here is where Wayne was.
Right there, right there, and that right there. Right area right there is where I set up. That tree right there and that tree right there.
Yep. Between them two trees, that's where Wayne was. And Ken was right about the trash. Trash is shy, it likes to hide. So we found, what did we find? An old tent?
Yeah.
We found an old tent, a float, Folgers coffee bag, and a bag of metal. That one, all over here in this tree stump. So, and then of course we started a bag of metal from our other campsite. But pretty decent camp. We liked it. This is sector 1, I guess, because we're in the Linville Gorge. We are almost Gorge Central. We're South Sandy Flats. I don't think you get any closer to the center than that, can you?
No, sir.
That's good. Well, we'll see y'all after a while. This is the only sign that Wayne was here. Excuse me, Jiffy Pop. The only sign that Jiffy Pop was here was he left his 2 toggles sitting on a rock in a campsite where he camped. So if you ever see 2 sticks laying on a rock, remember Jiffy Pop might have been there. Well, we're all packed up. There's where I was. Jiffy Pop almost took his toggles but decided to leave them. So we're ready to go. You ready to go, Jiffy Pop?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty. I guess we'll head them up and move them out. Those of you who worked the Linville Gorge Trail with me a couple years ago will remember this tree. This was before the government contract to clean out the trail and redo the tread work as necessary. Our notch is still here. Just still climb over. Taxpayer money at work. Had to get that in there. This part's still here too. Steep part right past the caves. Because I'll never forget this place. Now that, folks, is a step up. Here we are approaching the bridge, and we're coming up on the section of road dedicated to Hawkeye section of trail. This is the Hawkeye section. See, that boy's an engineer. See that bracing? Maybe.
I like it.
Well, it's there underneath that stick. Maybe the shade, maybe the camera can't catch it.
There's all right.
Yep, the Hawkeye section. And then as you can see beyond that, there's some fresh fall. We'll have to get it out here and clear it out one day. But we're getting close to the bridge. Approaching the bridge area. Right smart poison ivy. For those of you who don't know what it looks like, there you go.
Loads of poison ivy.
If you want a sure place to come find some, come down to Linville Gorge, hike down Spence Ridge Trail, cross the bridge. This whole crack that I just crossed is full of it. So keep your kids out of that unless you know they ain't allergic, and remember that poison ivy allergies can come up over time. In other words, you might not be allergic to it now, but you might one day. Now I'm crossing the bridge, and Jiffy Pop's crossing the bridge behind me, and it's shaking. Now we're on House Rock. I think that's right. If it ain't, somebody will nicely correct me. And going over section 2, which don't need no bridge right now because the water's low. There it is to the north. Sad River. Need you to come look at it. Need you to come take a day camp and just hydrological observe. There's the water coming in off the creek, coming down beside Spence Ridge. That creek's flowing. A lot of them weren't, surprisingly. We're not flowing as fast as you would think. But okay, second section, and then we'll leave the river. I'll try not to misstep. That first step be a doozy. It might hurt a little bit. Sorry about the jiggle. Maybe YouTube will get it out for me again. They're so good. And I'm over here on the other side. Now we start the last mile. Uphill all the way. Going up the Spence Ridge Trail. Jiffy Pop's in front. He done made a pass. He's got more energy than I got. Hey, who put this tree across the trail? Don't look like fun. Whew. There we go. Well, it's too hard to hold the camera, talk, and hike. See you on a bit. The road behind. Some sweaty backpacks. Jiffy Pop. And the road ahead. We ain't quite to the turn away from the creek. So, somewhere about halfway up, I'd say. The road behind. Somewhere down there is Jiffy Pop. He's probably in the shadow. You can't see him. The road ahead. I'd say I'm on the flat spot. Yay. Woo, buddy. Call out for Shug. Ken, Hawkeye, Mountain Camper, Hickory, TZ, Running Feather, Hanging Burrito, all the Gorge Rats. It was fun. Enjoyed it. Probably one more video at the parking area. Alright, we're at the end. Conley Cove Trail. Conley Cove. I've been in the woods too long. This is Spence Ridge. And I don't do audio editing very well, so I'll just fix my own bloopers as I catch them. I want to give a shout out to the troop that has adopted this trail. It was nice and wide. I've seen water bars put in, so get some of the water off. And I can tell that they've been doing a good job keeping it up. And after being on Linville Gorge Trail and having a bush brushing us on both sides in most places, to get to this was very nice. Very nice. Let's see who has adopted this trail. It is Troop 899, Morganton. Scout troop out of Denton's Chapel. Denton's Chapel United Methodist Church, their Boy Scout troop. So they adopted the trail, so if you ever see them out here working, tell them you appreciate them. Must be nice to have that much help. Anyway, there's Jiffy Pop. He's made it. It's official. Do you have a woo buddy left?
Woo, buddy!
Barely. You can do better than that.
Woo, buddy!
Yes, there you go. Woo, buddy!